I'd like to start out with a question actually for the group. What is the number one most important metric for a vacation rental manager over the course of the next several years? Social capital is the hidden metric or KPI of vacation rental success. Casey hired me after our first meeting. I went down and worked for him in Costa Rica for about 6 months. It was at that moment that everybody in Costa Rica said, you, Matt, need to go check out Panama. This was 2007, before the Republic of Panama had its boom time. This was still relatively quiet days. I stayed in on my first visit to Panama, the historic district of Casco Viejo, Panama, which looks kind of like a combination of New Orleans, sort of French, Spanish, colonial architecture. And I just immediately fell in love with the place. The properties in which I was staying was really my first experience with vacation rentals as a young professional. Together with a fellow local business owner, we decided to create a gang intervention program, which we were not trained to do. I went to school for economics and promptly forgot everything that I learned anyway. He was an attorney from New York City. But what we did know was that if we hired the right professionals, psychologists, sociologists, social workers, and we leveraged the relationships that we had built with these young gang members, who we all knew by name because we were walking to get coffee every morning, and you pass them and you say hello, which is, by the way, oftentimes people ask me, how did you gain the trust of the gang members? And the answer was walking outside to get coffee, passing them in the street and saying hello. But over the course of the next 5 years, we built this program into something real. We demobilized all 5 of the rival street gangs. We integrated their members back into the community through entrepreneurship. So we also funded 12 small businesses, all geared around hospitality and tourism. I hired a number of our graduates myself, as did everybody else in town, who was just smitten with this creative problem solving. I could speak to you about social capital for hours, but the most important thing that I want you to take away from this little portion of my life, my biggest lesson, is that we built social capital with individuals who had 0, and it was directly correlated with their individual and their professional success and their lives. I start to look at what are the common denominators of the owners and the managers and the operators who are really accelerating beyond everybody else. And the theme that I've been looking at this question through over the last year is a theme of first mover status, which, if you haven't heard of it, is a general business concept that if you are first to market, typically with a product or an innovation, you gain unfair competitive advantages over your competition. You have plenty of time to rebound and adjust. You're not as cutthroat of a position as somebody who follows. And this first mover status, it takes a number of different forms. We have tech accelerators, companies that are using technology to accelerate their small businesses. We have specialization as a way to gain first mover status. That is to say, choosing a very specific area, geography, property type, or special interest as a way to gain first mover status and unfair competition. Guest experience, something that I know everybody here always thinks about. If you can get to an excellence level of that, you are gaining first mover status. What are the different kinds of social capital that we can earn depending on our position in the organization? I've broken it down into 3 categories. The first is that we can gain social capital and wield it with people in our community. The second is with organizations who are doing fantastic things. And the third is with neighborhood compliance. That is to say, making sure that we are leading the charge on the legal and responsible front. So I'd like to break these down very briefly. First of all is the people. I see these individuals who are connectors, who are using something that they have in surplus to help others in their community. This is a fast track to social capital wealth. So I would like to bring this little presentation back to where we first started by asking, what is the number one most important metric for a vacation rental manager over the course of the next several years? And I think everyone's chat contributions is correct. And I would like to add to that list social capital. I think it's something that everybody in here is already building. And most excitingly, it is a direct investment in your own growth story. Remove yourself from Casago completely. The more social capital you have as a member of society, the more opportunities you have to do something that you enjoy. I challenge everybody over the course of the weekend, over the course of the next several months until I get to see you guys, to continue making these little gestures, these little deposits in your social capital piggy bank, knowing full well, confidently, at least from my 10 years of research, that is directly correlated with the sustainability of your organization. It will make you rich.